Hello, everyone. My name is Trish, and I am your host today for the show Echoes from the Ethers. I first want to start off by saying this is a channeled interview from Amelia Earhart telling her side of the story from the other side of the veil. First, I want to give some context on what made me choose Amelia Earhart for my first channeled interview. And to be quite honest, I didn't choose her. She chose me. When I first created the container for Echoes from the Ethers, I knew what I wanted to do with this particular outward expression container to hold my water. And when I say my water, what I am talking about is my knowledge, my information, my gifts, and my ability to express myself outwardly. If you don't have a container to hold that water, that currency, it can leak all over the place. So I needed to create a container or multiple containers to be able to hold this water so that it can then feed me back. And Echoes from the Ethers was one of those containers that I created amongst so freaking many. Amelia Earhart came to me about 3 or 4 days ago. Her name just popped up. And so I wrote it down and I started kind of looking into her a little bit. Not too much because I did not want to shadow her channeled frequency. So I didn't want to take on too many people's opinions about who she was and what she represented, because I did not want that to cloud her channel with me. So I kind of wanted to step into this unknown. After about 10 minutes of looking into different things, it just really seemed like people were not telling her story correctly. So I moved from it and I decided to send a signal out to her, back to her, because she sent a signal to me and gave me her name. And I sent the signal back out to her, letting her know that I was interested. And so today, I didn't know that she was going to come to me. And the way that it all happened was super dope. I was sitting here getting ready to put some interview questions together because, quite frankly, I didn't know how she was going to come through. And I put some interview questions together that I wanted to ask her and just working on it. And my son came over, who's 12 years old, and he says, "Mommy, what are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, I'm doing some work." And he goes, "What are you working on?" And I told him I was doing a documentary about Amelia Earhart. And so he was like, "Who is that?" And because I homeschool him, I'm like, "Okay, well, let me tell you who she is." So I started to tell him a bit about who she was, like a brief synopsis. And this is where it started. I started to channel Amelia Earhart and I started to write down everything that she said. So I'm going to reiterate that to you guys here, the conversation that was had. And I start. Okay, so I'm sitting here talking to my son about Amelia Earhart. And in the midst of me talking about her to him, I recognize that me and her are same and similar. It kind of hit me like an aha moment in the midst of me talking about her to him because I'm a spitfire and I'm ready and I'm rebellious. And I do not subscribe to systems and people forcing me or telling me to submit to them. I do what the heck I want to do, how I want to do it. This game of life is mine to play how I want to play it. And players only love you when they're playing you. So the fact that I'm not a vessel for someone to play with, and I definitely feel like Amelia Earhart's energy is in alignment with my energy in this area of life. That's why her name came to me. I feel like this is more in alignment with what happened to Amelia. Amelia was very rebellious, but also very much interested in the esoteric and interested in the great beyond. Very much interested in what exists outside of the world that she lived in, wanting to escape from the limitations that plagued the world that she existed in. I can see her now wanting out, and I can also see her being a pilot, doing the abnormal, untraditional thing. I'm seeing the Hierophant in reverse, a card in the tarot, as being her archetype, the archetype of her internal world, to be specific. She was very imaginative and creative and very huge with stepping into her own willpower. And one of the things that she was not going to do is allow somebody to stop her from doing the investigative work that she was ultimately interested in. She kept that secret and low key. She presented an image on the outside that was very much manufactured and fit the bill to pacify the men who were the authority figures over her. But on the inside, the divine feminine energy reigned supreme. What happened is Amelia Earhart escaped. She left intentionally with no intention to return. There is something that seriously don't want me to record this. When I tell you my devices have been acting up, I have recorded this multiple times and it keeps getting erased. There is something seriously that does not want me to record this, that does not want Amelia Earhart's story to come true, to come out into the light. But it doesn't effing matter because it's going to come out no matter the interference. If I gotta write it by hand, if I gotta record it, however it's going to come out, there's something that does not want her truth to come out. She didn't die. She didn't go missing. There was no foul play in her disappearance. To be honest with you, it was an escape plan for her all along because she did not want to submit to the lifestyle, to the people, to the limitations that were set for her. There were containers that were very small and very restrictive that were created for her to swim around and fly around inside of. And she was way bigger than that. They tried to dim her light. She was not just a pilot. She was way deeper into esoteric knowledge, mystery schools, into the great beyond, spirituality, and worlds beyond this world. That's the part that people don't know. That's the part that these authoritative figures that were masculine energies tried to stomp that fire out in her. They tried to paint her in their image. They tried to recreate her in their image and tell her story from how they wanted her to be seen by the world, which was not at all true. Amelia Earhart had a plan that she kept to herself throughout everything that happened in her life. She wanted to be set free from the restrictions, limitations, and standards of her society. What I am getting is this: Amelia Earhart found a way through her adventures. I feel like she had the skies mapped out intuitively. And the very thing that she found was a pocket within this labyrinth called Earth plane. She found a pocket out through the air. This makes me think about a movie called Time Trap that came out in 2017, where these children went into this cave. And when they came back out the cave, they didn't come back out in their time frame. They came out in another time frame, and they kept trying to go in and go back out, hoping to find their timeline. Contrary to popular belief, they were told that time was linear, but time was not. It was a spiral in the way that time moved. Outside of that cave showed you that time was a spiral. There is also another movie called Dark that came out in 2017 that talks about this cave that this little boy went into, and he went through these doors underground, and it landed him into another timeline, aka a time loop. And you also see this play out in Star Wars, talked about where in their spaceships they went through wormholes and black holes, which are voids, that sent them into pockets in space where time moved a lot different. This is why in Star Wars they had made family with the people on their ships, because they knew that they would lose touch with time as a whole. The way that they traveled and investigated and explored, it was all over the place. They were discovering new things. This brings me back to Amelia, because I feel like she found what these individuals in these movies, each of these individuals in these movies found. But in the air, in her plane, she came across something extremely profound up in them skies that is same and similar to what these individuals came across, a way out. Because the way that attraction works, when you have an intention and a goal and a wish / desire so deep, ever so deep, with so many emotions tied to it, that is your motion, your movement, your currency channel, your water that will carry you through. That is the way out. And through feeling, Amelia Earhart chose to fly. Using her inner GPS system, her intuition guided her. I deeply feel that Amelia Earhart is speaking through me. She is showing who she was outside of what the press painted her to be. Her rebellions started young because there were so many things that she desired to do and was curious about, but was shut down with girls don't do that. Women aren't allowed to do that. But she didn't let that stop her. It actually had the reverse impact on her. It lit a fire in her. It made her question why. Why can't I fly? Why can't I investigate this? Or why can't I look into that? She found the regular duties of being a housewife depressive and restrictive. Is she never had any intention, she never had any intention of submitting to those dynamics, but was forced to, so that she seemed more palatable and would be more accepted by society. It was merely a press move, not genuine love or interest, nor desire for her to get married. Those authoritative figures in her society at the time wanted to pair her with a man that can keep a foot on her neck, keep her in line, keep her in check. But Amelia Earhart rode right over him with the wheels of her airplane, leaving him in her dust. Where is Amelia Earhart today, you ask? Well, do I believe that she's dead? Absolutely not. But I do believe that Amelia is outside of time as we know it. She's still moving, still flying, and she's living her life the way she wants to within the spiral of time, within the labyrinth of this plane. She is no longer just a being. She is now a guardian of the airs, a steward of the plains, a rose in the sky. Amelia's last message to us today: stop looking for me. You won't find me. To all those who are now experiencing what I once experienced by the hands of authoritative figures in my society, don't let them put your fire out. Don't let them cap your water off. Flow and shine bright. Find yourself and do not reject you for love, attention, and acceptance by society's standards. Because if you do, you will live and lead a miserable life filled with so much pain and imbalance within yourself, all while everyone is happy with you, but you are not happy with yourself. You feel disgusted with yourself. The message here is find yourself, understand yourself. See that every person, place, thing, and experience is a mirror showing you you. Utilize that knowledge and information as your GPS system. Let it guide you to your people, to your places that you belong to the things that are meant to be your tools. Take life by the wings and fly that bitch through the sky. Signing off, Amelia Earhart, Beyond the Veil. Now that the interview is over, I want to do a bit of an after talk here. because I did stop recording. And it's been about an hour since I stopped recording. And I had a conversation with Amelia after that. And when I tell you, I felt the sensation of a heavy weight and a heavy pressure lifting up off of me. I felt extremely emotional and like a great relief from that whole channeled frequency. And I literally started to cry. I was definitely still tuned into uh, Amelia's frequency, and I could hear her voice just as clear and asking her questions such as, how do you feel? Did you get everything off your chest that you needed to? Did you get the relief that you needed? And literally, yes, was the answer to all of that. She was so elated that she had me to be able to tell her stories from beyond the veil, to allow her and give her the opportunity to express herself from her own perspective. And because she seen me as a familiar spirit, she felt comfortable and safe enough to tell her story through me. She was able to utilize me as a vessel to talk about her true experience, her true interests and loves in life, and what she was really trying to do. I am really grateful, and I want to just say that I am grateful that I took on and accepted this mission to start Echoes from the Ethers and to be a vessel to be used as a channel to express things of individuals who are mythical characters, who are actually real people, who lived real lives, whose stories were told incorrectly by people who had ulterior motives. They get to use me, they get to come through me and have me to tell their story, their perspective. And this is what Echoes from the Ethers is about. Those who are not here anymore, those who don't have anyone here to tell their story, now I am here. I am a vessel to tell the truth. Thank you for joining. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe. Follow my other channels. My Instagram and Facebook handles will also be in the description bar. And I will see you on the next episode. I am your host, Trish, and this is Echoes from the Ethers.